So we continue with the Bala Leela of Krishna. Now we are entering another beautiful episode. So after Krishna moves to Vrindavan, one day it is said that Krishna goes on a beautiful picnic with all the boys. It's described very beautifully and vividly that Krishna takes his horn early in the morning and blows and wakes up all the friends of his, and all of them join him. Everybody brings their own various musical instruments, and they all take the calves and they go to graze the forests of Vrindavan. And they are also carrying good food with them. All of them are going to have a nice picnic. So, very beautifully, these childhood pastimes of Krishna are described by Shuka Brahmam, that all the boys with all the calves, they all go to the forests of Vrindavan, and there they play very sweet little games. Shuka Brahmam describes all these games of how they would run behind a peacock, they would pull the tails of monkeys, they would see a bird flying in the sky and they would chase the shadow of the bird on the ground. So they were playing these little games with Krishna. Sometimes they would go and touch Krishna and then run. So in this way, they had such wonderful and lovely, playful friendship with Krishna. So Shuka Brahmam says here, the Supreme Being, the one who is pure consciousness and bliss, has taken this human form as a boy, and these boys are so blessed. Earlier, we saw how blessed Yashoda was to be able to even punish Krishna as her child. Now, here these boys are also so blessed to be able to play with Krishna as friends. He says, Ittam satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam paradaivatena maya shritanam naradarakena sakam vijahnuhu krita punya punjaha. So these are so blessed, krita punya punjaha, that they have such close friendship. The one who is the supreme embodiment of bliss, who is the supreme truth, who he says, Yogibir api alabhyaha. Alabhyaha means he is not attainable even by the yogis. Those yogis who try to meditate and realize him, they find it difficult to realize him. But the one who approaches him with friendship and love up easily attain him. So that is the whole principle behind all these pastimes. Whether it is Yashoda approaching Krishna as her own child, whether it is these cowherd boys approaching Krishna as their friend, or later we will see the cowherd women approaching him as their beloved. They approach Krishna with such sweet rasa, with such intimate, loving mood. And that is the way to approach God. When we look upon God as our friend, as our child, as our parent, as our beloved, then it is so easy to have that loving devotion for Bhagavan, as opposed to realize Him through various hard practices and so on. So, this is the easy way, and it is available to everyone if you only have that loving devotion in the heart. And that brings forth surrender, that automatically removes the sense of me and mine. Even in mundane interactions, we see that if we really like someone, we are ready to do something, anything for them. And when that love is there for the Supreme Being, then we are naturally free of me and mine. We see Him in everyone and everything, because if we love Krishna, we love His words too. And He has said, Aham Atma Kudakesha Sarvabhuta Shayasthitaha. He has said, I am the self of all, residing in the hearts of all. So then we also can easily love everyone and thereby be free of me and mine. So this is the way of loving devotion. And these boys of Vrindavan are blessed so effortlessly to be able to have such intimate friendship with Krishna. Then it is said another demon comes called Aghasura. There is also these continuous pastimes of various demons being killed by Krishna and liberated also. Aghasura is the brother of both Putana and Bakasura. We saw Putana first come, try to poison Krishna, and she was liberated. Then Bakasura came as this huge crane, tried to swallow Krishna, he was liberated. Now their brother Aghasura, who's the last, he has come. He takes the form of a huge python. And as a huge python, he opens his mouth. It's said that he takes the form that is 8 miles long, 1 yojana, as a huge python, whereby his when he opens his jaws, it is like a huge mountain cave. The lower jaw is touching the ground and the upper jaw is like up in the clouds. So it's so huge, and therefore he is looking like a mountain cave. All the boys are proceeding, they are all playing there as we saw. And one interesting thing is Balaram is not there this particular day. Balaram did not come. Rohini retains him, which is also got a purpose. So Krishna is there with all these boys, and all the boys enter the cave thinking it is a cave. It's actually the mouth of a python. And they all go and they look at this and they say, oh, this cave looks very mysterious. It almost looks like a python. They actually are inside a python, but they didn't realize it because it's so huge. They have not seen a python so big. But the mouth of the cave is actually the mouth of a python. So they all enter this huge python, and this Aghasura is actually waiting for Krishna to come because his purpose is to swallow Krishna. So Krishna comes there. He immediately, of course, realizes what is there, because Krishna, as he says in the Gita, he knows everyone's heart from within. He says, Matta smritir jnanam apohanancha. He says, all knowledge and all forgetfulness also comes from me. Therefore, he knows what Aghasura is planning. So knowing this, he enters Aghasura because he has to save all these boys and also liberate Aghasura. So he enters the mouth of Aghasura. Aghasura thinks he can swallow and kill Krishna without realizing, and he enters the throat, and once he goes there, Krishna starts expanding, and by his expansion he is able to tear apart this python and he is killed. And once he is killed, it is said beautifully by Shuka Brahman that a light leaves the body of this Aghasura, goes up in the sky, and once Krishna comes out of the mouth of this python, the dead python now, the light of the Aghasura's jiva comes and merges with Krishna's body. So this is showing again that anyone who is connected with Krishna is liberated, including the demons. And then all the boys have fallen unconscious, being inside the fumes of the body of the python. So Krishna revives all of them, and they are all now back on their feet and continuing their picnic. And then Shuka Brahma makes a mysterious statement. He says that this happened when Krishna was 5 years old. So we saw Krishna as a baby in Gokul doing Damodar Leela up to a few years, 2 or 3 years, and so on. Then, when he was very young, they all moved to Vrindavan, and now he is 5 years old. Just still, he is a very small child, and this happens when he is 5. And Shuka Brahman says mysteriously that this incident was reported by the boys to their mothers when Krishna turned 6 years old, as if it happened the same day. So now Parikshit is, of course, very intrigued. He heard this beautiful pastime, and then he says, okay, Krishna was 5, all this happened. And then the boys go and they will naturally tell the parents what happened the same evening. And Shuka Brahman says they told it like it happened the same day. But by the time they told it, Krishna was already 6 years old. So Parikshit asks this question. He says, what is this great mystery? Please tell me. Tad bruhi me yo mahayogin param kautuhalam guru. He says, oh Guru, please tell me, I am very curious. Nutanam etad harereva maya bhavati na anyata. He says, this must be another beautiful maya of Hari. Whatever you are explaining in this way, please tell me about it. He says, I am so happy to listen to this story Every story you give gives me such bliss. He says, Yad pibamo mahutsavatah punyam Krishna kathamritam. He says, Krishna kathamritam, the nectar of Krishna katha that you are giving me, is such bliss. See, Parikshit has been listening to all the various episodes of Bhagavatam as we have been listening. But Parikshit is listening as the perfect listener. He doesn't eat anything, he is not drinking anything, and he is listening continuously. So it's been going day and night. He's got 1 week to die, and in 1 week he's listening, and now it's day 5. And after all these days of listening to all the various stories and philosophies and teachings and Bhagavatas and Jnanis, finally he is blessed with Krishna Katha. So he is so filled with the nectar. So he says, I am drinking this nectar. He says, Yat pibamo punyam Krishna Kathamritam. I am drinking this nectar of Krishna Katha. Please fill me more and more with it. Shuka Brahmam is, meanwhile, it is said he is in Samadhi. After just narrating the pastime of Krishna each time, he goes into Samadhi. He is completely oblivious. And when Parikshit asks the question, he comes out and then he gives a very interesting incident that happens. He says first, Sadhu Prishtam Mahabhaga Tvaya Bhagavatottama. He says, you asked a very beautiful question again, being very inquisitive. You are asking these questions out of very keen listening, which is the important quality of listening. He says, Pratikshanam Navyavad Achyutasya Yat. Whatever of Achyuta is Navyavad, it's new. When we listen to it fresh, like it is new, then Pratikshanam, every moment it is new, but that requires the listening to be so keen as Parikshit is doing. So he gives a very beautiful thing that happened. What happens is Brahma has come looking at this wonderful pastime of Aghasura being killed. But then what he sees then is Krishna is now having food with all these boys. So after Aghasura is slain, they all go to the banks of Yamuna and they are all having food there. And they are having a very simple, nice picnic. It's described very beautifully. And very surprisingly, Krishna is eating yogurt rice, which is very famous even now. And it's described by Shuka Brahmam that Krishna has yogurt rice in his hand. He's eating, he's giving his friends too. They're all sitting in a circle and eating while the calves are grazing the pastures by Yamuna. Looking at all this, Brahma is mystified. Brahma thinks, who is this? He is getting deluded that maybe Krishna is forgotten who he is because he just thinks he is like a little village boy eating yogurt rice with his friends. So let me test him. So in the very beginning, Bhagavatam says, Muhyanti Sureha, even the devas get deluded, Muhyanti. So here Brahma gets deluded into thinking he can test Krishna. So what he does is he takes away all the calves that are grazing and puts them in a cave. So then they realize the calves are missing, and so Krishna says, I'll go look for the calves, you keep eating. And when he goes looking for the calves, Brahma comes and takes all the boys also and puts them also all in the caves. Then Krishna comes back, no boys are there, no calves are there. He realizes what has happened, Brahma has done it. He could instantly get it back, but he wants to play another beautiful pastime because all the boys and all the calves, their mothers and the mother cows, they always cherish this desire to be like Yashoda. Because even though they all have their own boys and everybody loves their child the most, Shuka Brahmam says that what we love more than our own child is our own true self. We love our child because we love the inner pure awareness within. It is the love for the self as existence that comes forth, and that is what is then transferred to love for children, love for anyone else. So love for our presence within the heart is most primary, and that presence is taken the form of Krishna. Therefore, every mother there wanted to be like Yashoda, and Krishna decided to bless them all. So he took the form of all the boys and all the calves so that nobody knew, and he just went back to the village. And Brahma took them away, put them in the cave, and he went away for a moment. And it is said that Brahma's one moment is 1 year in Bhuloka, on earth. So Brahma goes away for a moment, putting all these boys and calves in the cave, while Krishna goes back to Vrindavan, and everybody is filled with excessive love. They don't even know why they love their own boys so much. They've always loved their boys, but now because it's Krishna who has taken the form of the boys and the calves, these mothers are with so much love, the cows are producing so much milk. 1 year of bliss goes on, and Balaram is with them. As we saw, Balaram didn't come that day. So Balaram, that's the reason why Balaram didn't come. So he is the only one who is Balaram. Everyone else is simply Krishna, all the boys. So Balaram notices all this, and one day he asks Krishna. Of course, he knows what has happened, Balaram being an expansion of Krishna. And Krishna, of course, reveals to him. Meanwhile, Brahma comes back after his one moment away into Brahmaloka, it is said, which is already 1 year. So meanwhile, this 1 year, that's why from year 5 to year 6 of Krishna, Krishna was all the boys, all the calves, and everybody had this great, loving, maternal, paternal love with their own boys who are Krishna himself, all the mothers or all the mother cows too. And then after this moment of Brahma, he comes back, he sees this, and then he realizes, he sees that everyone is there already. And then when Brahma comes to see Krishna, Krishna gives him a vision whereby not only himself, but every boy, every calf is the form of Narayana. He suddenly sees the whole place filled with the form of Narayana. Every child is Narayana, every calf is Narayana, it's surrounded by Narayana. So Brahma realizes his folly. He comes down from his Hamsa, from his divine swan, falls at the feet of Krishna, and expresses both tears of love and remorse for having tried to even test Krishna, but being blessed with this most divine vision. And now Brahma offers beautiful prayers, which we shall see tomorrow. But in this particular episode, we also symbolically see that Krishna is actually the true essence of everyone. So this episode shows that if we see Bhagavan as the true self of all, then we naturally love everyone as well. So all the mothers, all the cows, they love their calves so much because they saw Krishna. But the reality is Krishna is the presence in the heart of all. So if we see this, then it not only brings forth love for Bhagavan, but love for every living entity. And that is what this pastime reveals. And with this beautiful pastime of Krishna appearing as all the boys ends.